Most people check their bank account before they go to sleep. The ultra-rich don't. Not because they're careless, not because they're above it, because they built something that doesn't require them to look. And that difference, that single quiet difference, is the thing almost no one talks about. Every time you open your banking app to check your budget, you are not getting richer. You are becoming a slave to the system you built yourself. This is not a video about money management. This is about why management itself is the trap. We grow up with the same instruction. Track it, control it, budget it, know where every dollar goes. And for most people, that's not wrong. When money is scarce, awareness is survival. The spreadsheet feels like discipline. The budget feels like safety. But here's what no one tells you. The same habit that protects you at one level destroys your potential at the next. Because while you are busy tracking pennies, you lose the ability to engineer dollars. The skill that saves you in scarcity is the exact skill that traps you in mediocrity. And this is where most people misunderstand everything. Think about the last time money made you anxious. It probably wasn't ignorance. It was clarity. You knew exactly what was coming in. You knew exactly what was going out. And that perfect, precise awareness produced nothing but weight. This is the psychological trap almost no one names. Tracking money keeps your mind inside the money. Every decision becomes personal. Every expense carries emotional gravity. You're not thinking about the future anymore. You're defending the present. You're not managing finances. You're managing fear. And the harder you grip, the less you build. But this is where most people get it wrong. They think the solution is better tracking, a smarter app, a tighter system, more control. That's not the solution. That's a deeper version of the same trap. Because control is not what builds wealth. It's what preserves smallness. Now, watch what actually changes at a different scale. A man with $40 million doesn't review his subscriptions. A woman running a $200 million portfolio doesn't track her grocery bill. Not because the numbers don't matter, because their relationship to numbers has fundamentally changed. At a certain level, the bottleneck is never the money. It's attention. It's cognitive bandwidth. It's the decision-making capacity of one human brain, which, no matter how sharp, is finite. You cannot manage complexity of that scale by hand. And the moment you try, the moment you become the person reviewing every line item, you've already made the mistake. You've made yourself the system. And humans make terrible systems. And ironically, the more carefully you track money, the less of it you tend to build. Here is the reversal almost no financial advice will give you. The ultra-rich don't manage money. They manage structures. They don't ask, where did this dollar go? They ask, what is this dollar doing? One question is accounting. The other is architecture. One keeps you in the past. The other builds the future. They construct systems that move money while they sleep, that protect it, allocate it, multiply it, automatically, quietly, without a decision required every time. The money stops being something they handle. It becomes something that runs, like infrastructure, like electricity. You don't think about electricity. You just build things that run on it. And this is the part no one talks about. The mechanism behind this has a name most people never hear: family office. Not a bank, not a fund, something closer to a private command center, a dedicated team. Lawyers, tax architects, estate planners, asset managers, whose only client is one family, whose only purpose is to make sure that wealth compounds at a level no individual could sustain alone. The largest family offices manage more capital than the GDP of mid-sized nations. They operate inside legal structures most accountants have never encountered. They access investment instruments that never reach the public market. And they plan not for this quarter, for the next 3 generations. This is not money management. This is civilizational thinking. But here's what almost nobody realizes. At that point, money is no longer personal wealth. It becomes institutional power. Because at scale, something unexpected happens. The people with the most money become the least involved in its daily movement, and the people with the least money become the most consumed by it. Think about that inversion for a moment. Most people make financial decisions reactively. Something happens, they respond. A bill arrives, they worry. An opportunity appears, they feel it first, think second. The decision is emotional, personal, immediate. The ultra-rich make decisions structurally. Not, should I do this, but does this belong in the system? Not, can I afford this, but what does this cost in terms of allocation? The emotion is removed, not because they're cold, because the structure holds the logic, so the person doesn't have to. That is a different kind of mind, and it begins with a different kind of question. And this changes everything about how money actually works. Most people think they want more control over money, but control is exactly what keeps them small. At some point, budgeting becomes a signal that you're still operating at the wrong scale. The goal was never to control money better. The goal was to build something that removes the need for constant control. Not more discipline, not a better app, not a tighter budget. Architecture. The most financially free people alive are not the ones who never spend. They are the ones who designed a structure so coherent that spending, saving, and compounding happen without their constant presence. Their money runs like a machine. They just point it in a direction. And the question worth sitting with tonight is not, how do I manage this better? It's, what would my financial life look like if it didn't require me to manage it at all? The next time you open your bank account, and you will, probably tonight, pause before you scroll and ask yourself one question. Do you control your money, or does your money require you? Because the real question was never about money. It was about whether you were still operating inside it. Drop your answer in the comments. That conversation is worth having. Because most people were never taught to manage money. They were trained to stay inside it. And what you're about to see next is how these structures are actually built. The specific instruments, the legal architecture, the decisions most high earners make a decade too late. Most people never see this until it's too late. The next video is already waiting.